Which of the following is true? A. The leatherback sea turtle is the heaviest non-crocodilian reptile. B. Leatherback sea turtles cannot be found near Alaska, Canada, or the continental United States. Or C. Leatherback sea turtles have a lifespan of up to 300 years. Two of those are not very true, and one of them is. Keep listening to Formosa Fauna to find out which is which. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan Hildebrand, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals and I love talking about them. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, you're in the right place. This show has made it to the 90th episode. This episode you're listening to right now is episode number 90. It is very hard to consistently produce a show of any kind regarding any topic, but there has just been no shortage of interesting animal-related news, developments, fun facts, and beyond. So we are still going strong at episode number 90, and will no doubt make it to 100. Send me an email at tristan@rti.org.tw, tristan@rti.org.tw, and let me know how many episodes you've been around for and what you think I should do for episode number 100. It's coming up. The majority of shows on any given platform, I think, don't make it to number 100, so it's a big momentous thing, and I think I should do something good for the big 100. Send me your ideas and thoughts by email at tristan@rti.org.tw. Again, that is tristan@rti.org.tw. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about giant pandas, red pandas, Taiwan's new panda, and a leatherback sea turtle dying in Taiwan. Let's dive right in. There are basically 3 different kinds of pandas, and experts categorize them into 2 different species. The giant panda and the red panda are considered the only 2 panda species on Earth by many scientists. While they may be similar in name, they are not closely scientifically linked. They share a similar geographic distribution and a similar diet, though. The giant panda is under the umbrella of bear species, which is why you'll often hear people referring to them as panda bears. The giant panda is also the animal most people think of when they hear the word panda. They're large black and white bears. They can grow to be very, very large and are mostly white with large black patches around their eyes, ears, and other parts of the body, like the back. The other panda species is the red panda, and as the name would suggest, it has a rusty tint and is much smaller than the other pandas. In fact, most red pandas are similar in size and agility to domestic cats. These red pandas prefer rockier, hillier terrains, so the 2 different panda species rarely, if ever, come into contact with one another in the wild. Going back to the giant panda, though, genetic and molecular studies, Nature Safari India says, confirm that it is indeed a bear belonging to the Ursidae family. That is Ursidae, Ursidae family. They are known for having a calm, almost lazy demeanor and are primarily herbivores, while also being considered one of the gentlest bear species. And to many, they are the gentlest. Giant pandas inhabit forests high in the mountains of southwest China, where they consume a diet of almost entirely bamboo. They must eat around 26 to 84 pounds or 12 to 38 kilograms of bamboo each day to meet their nutritional needs. They've developed an enlarged wrist bone that functions like an opposable thumb, allowing them to grip and strip bamboo stalks. Still, they spend up to 16 hours a day eating. It's a lot of bamboo and it takes a long time to consume. When they aren't eating bamboo, they may also eat small rodents, birds, eggs, honey, and fruits like apples or bananas, as they are opportunistic feeders and sometimes rely on other sources when bamboo is scarce. I think aside from them coming off as being very docile and lazy, right, it's relatable to many people. I think the eating part is also very relatable to a lot of people, which has made them, loved by many. So, while an adult giant panda typically stands about 5 to 6 feet long, or 152 to 183 centimeters long, a newborn panda is typically about the same size as a stick of butter. Very small, a lot smaller than their adult counterparts. The adult paw structure makes them great climbers and swimmers too, adept at scaling trees and navigating steep forested terrain in the wild. Pandas also have a strong cultural significance in China and were once considered the most treasured animals in the emperor's exotic menagerie, according to Nature Safari India. As of this month, there are 20 zoos and parks in 16 countries and 3 territories outside of China that have giant pandas. This includes Australia, Austria, Belgium, Denmark, France, Germany, Indonesia, Malaysia, Mexico, the Netherlands, Qatar, Singapore, South Korea, Spain, Russia, the United States, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. Japan most recently had their giant pandas confiscated after escalating political tensions surrounding Japan's statements about Taiwan. Most of the other nations and territories have giant pandas through international loan agreements, so they don't own them and they could have them called back at any point in time. But if you remember, towards the beginning of this segment, we said there are 3 different kinds of pandas split into 2 species. We'll get to the red panda more, a separate species, in just a moment. First, let's talk about the qinling panda. It is actually a rare subspecies of the giant panda and was officially recognized as a subspecies in 2005. Unlike the black and white giant panda, I guess you would say it is like the white and black giant panda, but instead of white and black, it's light brown and dark brown. So where you would have black, it is a dark brown fur, and then where you would have white, it is a light brown fur. They also have smaller skulls and distinct eye markings below the lower eyelid. Just how rare is the qinling subspecies? Very. Only around 200 to 300 are believed to exist in the wild, found exclusively in China's Qinling Mountains at very high altitudes. They are similar in size to the giant panda and share the same diet and behaviors. A nationwide survey in 2014 found only 1,864 giant pandas out in the wild in southwest China, making the species very vulnerable and leading to close monitoring. Habitat loss and fragmentation caused by deforestation, human encroachment, and infrastructure development remain the biggest threats facing the giant panda today. Now, across Bhutan, China, India, Myanmar, and Nepal, we have the endangered red pandas. These are scientifically not bears, although once placed in the Ursidae or bear family. They were moved to their own family called, this is a tough one, it's Ailuridae, Ailuridae. So they were moved to their own family called Ailuridae. To picture what a red panda might look like, you may want to start by picturing a fox body with fox colors, then blend it with a cat-like size, nose, and ears, and a raccoon-like face. In fact, they look so much like raccoons they were once thought to be related to them, but modern genetic research has placed them again in their own distinct family, Eluridae, separate from both bears and raccoons. They eat bamboo, berries, mushrooms, acorns, and a variety of grasses. They're not considered pandas technically to some because pandas belong to the bear family, but it is believed that they're called pandas, red pandas, because of the Nepali word ponya, P-O-N-Y-A, meaning bamboo eater. They prefer the dense, moist, temperate forests of the eastern Himalayas. Taipei recently imported its own red panda, as a female red panda arrived at Taipei Zoo from Asahiyama Zoo in Japan to help the zoo expand Taiwan's population of the endangered species. This happened just this week, with the female red panda named Sen arriving on Monday in the evening. Taipei Zoo currently houses 6 males and 3 females, according to the Central News Agency. Sen will have to undergo 1 month of quarantine before joining the others in Taipei. Then she will need to familiarize herself with the other red pandas before the zoo will allow public viewings. Her arrival comes at an important time as the other red pandas are getting quite old, and the zoo said the population needed some new blood. After expert analysis, the Japanese Association of Zoos and Aquariums helped secure Sen from Asahiyama Zoo. Sen was born on July 5th, 2022, and also goes by the Mandarin name Qian Qian. On Saturday, March 14th, a rare leatherback sea turtle was rescued from nets in Yilan, reported on by Sean Scanlon with Taiwan News. The 148-centimeter, 280-kilogram I'm reading that correctly. Okay, I'm going to repeat that because that's very massive. 148 centimeter, 280 kilogram sea turtle was found bleeding from the mouth with nets wrapped around its body at an aquaculture fish farm in Yilan County. The county government said a fisherman discovered the turtle and brought it back to Gongfang Fishing Port. They then transported it to the Badouzi Marine Animal Rescue Station for treatment and observation, and veterinarians' initial reports found the turtle alert and in relatively stable condition with no visible external abnormalities. They noted that fishing nets were lodged in the animal's mouth, having been swallowed too deeply to remove on site, making the transfer necessary. The transfer to the Badouzi Marine Animal Rescue Station, that is. They kept the turtle, they believe it's a female, in a cetacean rehabilitation pool overnight and noted that because leatherback turtles are pelagic, migratory animals with strong swimming and diving abilities, confinement in enclosed spaces can cause them to thrash and risk further injury. So they chose a shallow water pool to reduce the turtle's mobility and minimize the risk of impact injuries. Leatherback sea turtles are the largest species of sea turtle, typically weighing between 300 and 500 kilograms. So I thought 280 kilograms was a lot, but they typically weigh between 300 and 500 kilograms. I mean, I don't know if anybody listening to this show can imagine how heavy that is. I don't think any of us listening would be able to pick this turtle up. That's how heavy it is. Maybe a 4 or 5 person team, maybe, if they're really strong. So in Taiwan, leatherback turtles are a Class 1 endangered species and are protected under the Wildlife Conservation Act. 160 centimeters worth of fishing net was extracted from the turtle's gastrointestinal tract in an endoscopic surgery that lasted over 4 hours. The team was made up of veterinarians from National Taiwan University Veterinary Hospital and Taipei Zoo. The turtle initially recovered from anesthesia, but about 1.5 hours post-op, her respiration slowed and eyelid reflexes stopped. They tried to resuscitate her for 90 minutes and failed, leading to her death at around 11 p.m. It's believed that leatherback turtles can live up to 45 to 50 years in the wild. This individual turtle was believed to be a female between 25 and 30 years old. The Taiwan Cetacean Society said it will conduct further research to determine the cause of death and assess the impact of the ingested fishing net. Today we're talking about seagrass. Seagrass restoration is gaining momentum in Taiwan as scientists race to rebuild disappearing underwater meadows, reported on by the Central News Agency and Michael Naking-chan with Taiwan News. The UN says about 30% of the world's seagrass has disappeared, which is very significant and a big cause for concern as the marine plant serves as a nursery and feeding ground for many species, also naturally storing a large amount of carbon. In 2014, in Penghu, an archipelago of 90 islands and islets within the Taiwan Strait, the Agriculture Ministry's Fisheries Research Institute began experimenting with seagrass restoration. To secure a stable supply of seedlings, researchers established seed banks in Penghu and southwestern Taiwan, while working with academia, government agencies, and private companies to expand restoration. The reliable supply of seedlings is crucial to large-scale restoration, according to Penghu Fishery Research Center technician Shen Yile, who said that transplanting seagrass from natural beds can only be done on a limited scale and must avoid damaging ecosystems. In Penghu, Tongliang Village and Hujing Harbor have been sites of successful transplanted seagrass. Gangzi Village is using an abandoned fishing pond to produce more seedlings and could produce 6 million annually within the next 3 years. Despite various efforts, the experts say that restoration remains very difficult, and natural disasters like typhoons and heavy rain can threaten fragile seagrass ecosystems. They say that progress will depend on community participation and better data on how seagrass species grow in Taiwan's climate. A recent winter survey of ponds across Taoyuan has recorded a notable increase in migratory bird populations. According to the Wild Bird Society of Taoyuan, volunteers documented 86 bird species and a total of 14,357 individual birds during surveys conducted in December and January. One of the most striking findings was a sharp rise in cormorant numbers, which more than doubled compared to last year, surpassing 3,000 birds. A cormorant is a large, dark-feathered diving seabird known for its long neck, hooked bill, and a habit of drying its wings while perched because it has plumage that is not waterproof. In contrast, sparrow populations declined significantly, with numbers dropping to nearly half of previous counts. Observers also recorded several species for the first time in the area, including the falcated duck, Falcated duck, northern lapwing, eastern buzzard, and tundra bean goose. Additionally, the Asian glossy starling, considered an invasive species, was spotted for the first time. The survey covered 203 ponds throughout Taoyuan, with 37 volunteers contributing observations that were uploaded to the global eBird database. Among the surveyed sites, a pond in Dayuan district stood out, hosting 32 different bird species, the highest diversity recorded in this year's count. Researchers noted that migratory bird numbers typically peak in December when winter arrivals are at their highest and stabilize in January before many species begin heading north again in mid to late February. Making it to the end of an episode makes you a Formosa Fauna friend. Thank you for tuning in, friend. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.